Right. Okay. So I'm Sue from Soulfully Connecting. That's my great pleasure to interview Bernadette Bruckner today. She's an MA PhD and very accomplished lady. What I noticed when looking at Bernadette's work is how much she marries the intuition as well as the corporate, as well as the health. She's the founder of Health in All, and she's written a number of books. So I really like the intuitive mix of all the things you do. You're very accomplished, and I'll let you talk about what you do. So who are you? Who is Bernadette Bruckner?
That's a good question.
Do you have an answer?
I explore myself for years, because when you look at Sigmund Freud's pyramid, we actually know consciously us 5 to 10%, and the rest is subconscious. Mm. And when you see it on a like scientific side, when you use the development scientific of Jean Piaget, he says the first 6 to 7 years we get formed as identity from all the other people who are surround us at this time. Yeah. So actually everybody else from outside telling us who we are. But when you ask me now who I am, I'm like, ooh, I'm exploring myself, and I give away all the beliefs, all the stuff what everybody else told me the years before, who I am, and explore myself to create myself completely new. And the last time when I was on stage, I said, I'm actually a very practical, intuitive, high sensitive person who loves to study and research. So I'm actually doing very applied science, because in my opinion, the life should be both. And most of the time science forget it, that we should actually connect everything. Yeah. And also the people out there who like refuse science, they just, why are you refusing it? I think both is very important.
Yeah. Out of interest, when you were discovering who you really were any of the impressions of what other people thought you were any of those actually accurate? Could you say, oh, they were right about this, but they weren't right about that?
The interesting part is I'm a Leo in horoscope.
Okay.
So I have a very strong character.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was the leader when I was a child. So I didn't overtake everything still since childhood.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm still a very strong character. But there were people out there, especially when you're in the teeny time, I was overweight, I had a lot of pimples and all the things because of the wrong nutrition. They just gave you, or I met a lot of people who gave me the feeling that I'm not worth, because I'm a woman.
Yeah.
I grew up in the landscape. I grew up with coming from a bakery cafe. So in our cafe we had alcohol addicts, we have old men. Their point of view was like not very women friendly, and they influence you. Yeah. And it was so interesting when I began to discover not only me as human, because I have a very strong character, but when I begin to discover myself as human, but when I begin to discover myself as woman, and see what's like in the media, what women should be, and like everybody else telling you what women should be. You should be a good wife, you should be a good mother. You're like, oh my God, there are so many hats out there, so many beliefs out there. And I'm like, no, wait a second. First, I'm a human, and I don't want to get defined because I have a vagina. I'm sorry, that doesn't work.
Yeah. Yeah.
and for me, but I always have to say, when I wanted to have something, also in the career, I just get it.
Yeah.
But the interesting part is, for over 20 years, I nurture women with my business know-how.
Yeah.
For many years, I also nurture now mompreneurs, so that they become independent from whatever.
Yeah.
Because there shouldn't be a gap we have in Austria, like still the gender gap and also the money gap and all the things between men and women.
Yeah.
And for me, it was never a topic till I got connected with it. To other women, they told me about their fears and the beliefs about women are not enough with the money and all the things. And then I begin to look at it, where it comes from. Today, I begin now to get more and more involved in those topics, and also more and more involved in politics and all the things. So I see more and more all the old beliefs which still are out there.
Yeah.
Only because I'm a woman, I'm like, no, there's something wrong here. And I don't want to say, I don't know if it's the same in the UK, but I don't want to say we're in the middle of a second feminism chapter. But a lot of young women want to do the same what we had at the first movement. And I'm like, Jesus, not again.
Yeah.
We had like women out there. We had women out there like Alice Schwarzer, who told us that the men are evil and they are bad and all the things. And for me, that's not a movement. That's not a change.
No.
We should meet each other on eye level.
Yeah.
And when you know that that everybody out there have the same dilemma than me, that I get all my beliefs and my identity from all the other people.
Yeah.
We actually have no idea what's going on in the other person, fighting with some beliefs, what they got from different people, and has no idea about himself, what he's capable of.
Yeah. I think the being a woman in this time and previous times is a double-edged sword, because some women do want to go out and very independent and make their own path. But then it's easy for people that want to be looked after. They want to be protected. They want someone to come home with the money so they can just do what they want to do. Men don't have that privilege, in a way, of being able just to stay at home and someone will go out there. I mean, now, yes, some men can't stay at home and they look after the children, but some women who don't have children like to be looked after. So that is kind of an advantage of being a woman if you want an easy life, and all you have to do is kind of pander to the man that's bringing the money in. But men don't really have that option.
The question is, are those people happy?
Oh, well, that's another thing, isn't it?
And for me, it's like but it's like, that's my character.
Yeah.
I go out of the whole system thinking what it's there at the moment.
Yeah.
See it from the outside and create completely new and think completely new.
Yeah.
For years, I'm working on a completely new thinking healthcare system.
Yeah.
Because my first master thesis was where I was about a topic about healthcare system and all this in primary healthcare. And therefore, I looked at all the healthcare systems, and most of them, they're broken.
Yeah.
They are not affordable anymore, sorry. So
yeah.
We have to rethink everything else, but you only can do it when you're not in the system, when you know the history of the system.
Yeah.
And then create completely new, but integral. I'm a very integral thinker, so just give everything together, holistic.
Yeah.
And it's the same with the beliefs, how men should be, how women should be, how partnership should be.
Yeah.
And recheck all the beliefs what we perceive, because those beliefs came from past.
Yes. What I want to ask you, interestingly, about health, I mean, I know people who have certain conditions. It can be multiple sclerosis, it can be fibromyalgia, all these different things. And they have groups that support each other, which is great, you know. But in some ways, you know, I know people who have cured themselves of fibromyalgia. I can't talk about MS, I don't know about that, but I know that people have actually, through changing with nutrition and things like that, they've come out the other end. But the standard line is this you've got for life. And so people believe, some doctors are actually upping their knowledge about these things, but the old school is that you've got this for life, like diabetes, for instance, like type 2, you know, you've got it for life. So therefore people are kind of conditioned. They think, oh, well, I've got to take this medication, and so they give the power outside. But I'm wondering about the groups themselves, if you've had experience of those, because in some ways they're very supportive if you're sick, but can they keep you sick? Because if you get better, if you try something, then you've lost a whole group of friends, people that you might have been around for years, because you no longer fit in with that. Does that stop people getting better, do you think?
Yes, I can tell you right away, yes. I experienced that with a lot of people. I had to break up my coachings because of that. And the interesting part is, how should I say it? Wait a second. They actually, how should I say? It always has a purpose why a person is ill. Because we for example, in the first 6 years, we get conditions.
Yeah.
How we are. When you're ill, your mom took care of you way much more.
Yeah.
So a lot of people stay in their illness because they connected with security, with love.
Yeah.
So this connection is not healthy connection.
Yeah.
It's the same with drug addicts, with all addicts at all, by the way. Yeah. I'm also, only for those who listen, I'm also creating coping strategies for others, like resilience methods.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I had a lot of people the last years who I can work with, very tough topics. I had trauma from soldiers, I had abused women, ritual abused people. So I could create and learn a lot about this. Yeah. So I created also methods how to get over addiction.
Yeah.
And most of the time, and that's why I'm doing my studies in the field of health framing and all the things. For example, and now I use the knowledge of neuroscience and neuroplasticity. It's a new form of the neuroscience, exactly. We only keep our memories when it's most connected with pictures, emotions, and very strong emotions.
Yeah.
And the interesting part is a lot of people know more about their bad experience than the positive ones, because we just memory them better.
Yeah, yeah.
And we only memory them better. That's what I found out, because we didn't have any coping strategies back then remembering the bad memory about it with the emotion. When you disconnect the emotion with the memories, heal the emotion behind it, and give them a positive emotion on it, that you actually could handle this challenge better, the old memories away.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So that means when a person stays ill, and because he fears that he loses dear friends, you can work on it by disconnecting the emotion with the memory, heal it, and find new ways how to still have those friendships. Yes, a lot of people have the friendships because they have one topic together.
Yeah.
But you always find other solutions. And maybe this one person can be a role model for everybody else to go out of this actually addiction. It is a mental abuse actually.
Yes.
About this addiction, and being a role model and still being together, but with a different purpose.
What's just come into my mind is a story I heard that there was a woman or parents that had 2 children, and I think the little boy was about 5 and his sister was about 3, and the little boy was always sick, always one thing or another, nothing major, but always had these kind of illnesses, and the kept going into the doctor. And anyway, the doctor was quite clued up. He said, well, just, just look after him. And so anyway, they went in another time. They said, do you know what we heard our son telling our daughter? This 5-year-old was saying to his 3-year-old sister, if you want mummy's attention, be sick. That's what I do. And so what this child had done, he might even have been a bit younger than 5, but what he'd done is every time he wanted attention, he'd become sick. And then suddenly there was a jelly and ice cream in bed and, and all kind of lots of cuddles and stuff like that. And so the doctor said, well, in that case, don't reward the sickness. So after that, what they did is, you're sick. Oh, that's a shame. You need to just go to bed. And they say, you're well, to the sister. Oh, well done. That's fantastic. You're well. Well, come and have some jelly. And they turned the tables, and that little boy was no longer sick because it didn't work for him anymore.
And that's the clue.
Yeah.
And this is actually a behavior change.
Yeah.
This is like Pavlov experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's not. I don't wanna harm illness, by the way.
Oh no.
But it's a different point of view.
Yes.
And it helps. I have a lot of people who I have one, and he only knows illness because since childhood he was in hospital.
Yeah.
I call it reprogram.
Yeah.
His whole thinking only that he experienced knowing what health is.
Yeah.
Or might be.
Yeah.
Because we are, and I always say, our human body, we are a miracle.
Yeah.
We can change every single moment the neurons.
Yeah.
That's why I love neuroplasticity.
Yeah.
And even when you're 80 or 90, you still can learn like a 20-year-old if you want and if you know.
Yeah. Yes.
And that's something I always say, we are in the middle of a truly change of the humankind.
Yeah.
A lot of people say about transhumanism, but want to connect it with electric and all the genetic manipulation, and that's not okay. We are a perfect symphony of molecules if we acknowledge ourselves.
Yeah.
And that's why my credo is, remember your birthright.
Yes.
And truly live it.
Yes.
And if you know, you can change. And yes, I have an expert about diabetes, and I worked with her a while together. And you can do a lot with nutrition, a lot with the change of your mind and all the things, and a lot with change with on sport. Yes, it needs discipline. Yes, it needs a lifestyle change.
Yeah.
But the question is, do you want to be healthy and vital till the end, or do you want to be ill till the end?
Yeah.
And I have one woman, and she breaks my heart because she was at tons of doctors, and she wants to live, but she needs to be in bed because everything hurts, because she was at the doctors and all the thing, and she has a debt for more than 20,000 euros because she only want to get healed, and she got more ill than ever. And the only thing what she said to me, I want to live. I have such a beautiful husband. I have a beautiful house. I have beautiful children, and I'm ill, and I have no idea anymore what to do.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you appreciate health only when you're ill.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And I'm like, why?
Mm.
And when I listen to many people how they talk to themselves, it breaks my heart, because we are all miracles.
Yeah.
We are such a potentialist in everyone.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are coming to me and tell me their story, because they just always, it doesn't matter where I am, they just come to me and tell me the story.
Yeah.
And there are so many heartbreaking stories there, and when only by listening to them. And for me, I would love to just, if I could afford it, I would coach everybody for free, but it should be an exchange somehow.
Absolutely.
And because there are so many beautiful souls out there and they don't see it.
Yeah.
I tell to them, you know what, I see in you? Please.
Yeah.
Why can't you see it?
Yeah.
You're so gifted. And for many, many people out there, and also women, you are, and mothers, you are also gifted. And for you, it's so, oh, that's so normal what I'm doing. No, it's not normal.
Do you think that is one of the reasons? It's just come to me. You see, people who were born disabled, which is another thing. But I remember seeing a little girl who could only lie on the floor, but she painted with a paintbrush, most wonderful paintings, and different people who become life coaches. The guy Nick, I
know what you mean.
Yeah, with no arms and no legs, but so motivational. And I'm thinking maybe they were born because they could show able-bodied people how much they can achieve. If they can achieve these wonderful things with bodies that are kind of not so say normal, then the rest of us, we can do miracles as well.
Not only miracles, but be grateful.
Yeah.
The way we are.
Yeah.
I worked for years with Asperger's.
Oh yeah.
And also with what's the autism woman.
Yeah.
And she only could communicate with the board.
Yeah.
And I met her brother in one of my further educations. And I said to him, I want to meet your sister.
Yeah.
And she was in a special house.
Yeah.
And she began to talk with me. And I began to talk with her, via the third eye.
Yeah.
Energetically. And she answered me. And when I said to him, we should write a book together, because most of the time I say to them, hey, your message has to go out.
Yeah.
And when we were in a cafe, she got, other people laughed at her. And she said one sentence, because she needed to go. She felt the energy. She heard everybody else because she's gifted.
Yeah.
And one moment. And she wrote on the board one thing: if the people would know how gifted I am, they wouldn't talk crap about me.
Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing. So why?
And I had another case. I just only want it because it just came in my mind.
Yeah, absolutely.
The mom called me. I should come because her daughter was disabled, and there's something wrong. And I talked with her energetically, and also teach her sister who was, healthy, how to talk with her daughter, with her sister.
Yeah.
And the interesting part was that I said to the mother the same what another person told her, because it was not the problem or the challenge of the child, it was the problem of the mother. But the mother didn't want to look at her own challenge because she was not sick.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what I found out, because I asked her why she's disabled, why she choose it. And the interesting part was she was she was obsessed with another soul.
Okay. Obsessed. Yeah.
And we could have removed this soul within 10 minutes.
Oh, she was possessed. She was possessed by another soul. Oh, okay, I'm with you. Yeah.
Possessed. Sorry.
Yeah. It's okay.
And
your English is better than my German.
And the interesting part was we couldn't do it because the belief system of her parents wouldn't allow it, that we could heal her within 10 minutes. That's why I always say we have to go over the system, what we believe it's true now.
Yeah.
Go beyond and recreate everything else new.
Yeah. The sickness does begin in the mind.
And it's in the soul plan.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it always has a reason.
Oh yeah.
Why this soul decided to incarnate it with this cause. Yeah.
Yeah.
When we understand this, and this is another point of view. I'm one day, it as me, one day you have to find like your profession name.
Yeah.
And one was like with me, it's like I'm a soul whisperer.
Yeah.
So I always ask the soul, why you're here, what's going on?
Yeah.
Why do you need that? Because we all know we can heal each other, faster.
Yeah.
And it's so when I do my work, and it's like that's why I do my PhD and master studies at the University in Salzburg, and also get now my research center to bring the work what I do spiritually in a language so that the doctors and therapists and coaches can take it.
Yeah. Yeah.
We do work, and you know it as good as I do. We do work which is not normal.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so necessary here that more and more get aware about their potentials.
Yeah.
Remember your birthright.
Yeah.
And fully live it. Mm-hmm. But sometimes we need a different language than what we are used to, so that people can take it where they are at the moment with a language what they are used to.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's always for me, it's language, these are letters.
Yeah.
It's a word. The word has a meaning, and only because of the meaning, and sometimes it's a different of the meaning, but it's the same word, that is the only difference, nothing more.
It's interesting because, you hear about people who had like strokes.
Yes.
That there's that lady that wrote the book, a stroke. Oh, but anyway, she had to be taught how to understand. So she had to be taught what an apple was, what a banana was, what a tree was. Had to be so it's like wiping your memory.
Yes.
And then having to relearn, but your way is learning another way of speaking, not just the old way that you knew before.
How should I say it? I'm studying neuro and psycholinguistic only to work way much more in this field. When you have a stroke, a certain part of your brain is just wiped out for what reason whatsoever.
Yeah.
But neuroplasticity showed us because we learned it, you know, like the language center is on the right or on the left, and when it's wiped out, you can't speak anymore, and that's totally bullshit.
Yeah. Okay.
There are a lot of studies already, and that's why I love to be on the university, because now I get all the studies.
Yeah.
To show that humans are miracles, because we still can learn it, but it's in a different part of your brain.
Okay.
And for me, it's like I would love to work with all those people to find different solutions, because I know it's possible that they learn faster what they need, what they believe that they need for their daily lives.
Yeah, speed everything up.
Yes, and also rewire the neurons, but in a different way.
Okay.
For example, when I work with people, I always tell them, drink a lot of, don't drive after work with you home by your own.
Yeah.
And just rest a lot, because we rewire the neurons when I do, you know, the rework.
Yeah. Yeah.
There is the coaching style work, and then there is the soul work.
Yes. Yeah.
And the interesting part is their reality change.
Yeah.
Different things happens, especially then when I put them on a different timeline.
Yes.
Because I met one guy, and that's why I came in my brain. I met one guy, and he was totally ill. It was like on the body, he had something on there because of his bladder didn't work well and all the things. And I said to him, when I worked with him, you're not on your timeline, because he always said something wrong is here. It's like, that's not my life. When a person says me that's not my life, he's probably not on his timeline he should be.
Yeah.
What he knows he should be. That's the huge difference, because we always have a soul plan.
Yes.
And there is, on the quantum physics studies, that every single decision what we do changes the reality, because actually we can do everything. There is not one future. There are many. We create our future by every single choice we make. And there's also a study of it, and it's like, there are also movies with this. I don't know the English. I would have Googled it, but there's a beautiful movie with Gwyneth Paltrow, where one scene she catch the train.
Sliding Doors.
Yes, it's a beautiful movie, but it's so on the point.
Absolutely. Yeah, I love that film. Yeah.
And there, I created methods that you know your future when you go different timelines. That you decide better which step you're doing.
Yes.
And when someone tells me that he doesn't like his life at the moment, because I also do like business coaching, you know, when you do intuitive coaching, you can, you know, be intuitive.
Yeah.
And people came to me, and they were like highly paid managers who just went from the company because they got burnout and all the things, and they said, that's not my life. And I said to him, but how did you came there?
Yeah.
And the way that they decide in the past was so strange for me, so strange, because they always decided not out from themselves, but to others, to an ex-girlfriend he's not together anymore, to the father who wanted that he becomes this one, and the mother who cried when he doesn't become this one, and the weird stuff.
I know a case of a man who became a bank manager and went really up the scale. Is when I was learning about graphology, my tutor knew this man, but he always wanted to be a musician, but it was frowned on by his parents, and so he went into the finance and became a bank manager to a very high level. And when he was about to become the big boss in charge of everybody in the bank, he suddenly got sick. You know, he had a stroke or something. It was like, you know, he just couldn't go on the wrong path any longer, you know, and he got sick, and it's his way of not doing it. It wasn't a conscious thing, obviously, but it stopped him having to do that, go further along that path.
Mm-hmm.
But in that case, that's interesting because, you know, I know a few people who are like transgender and things, and this is a kind of, well, I'm in the wrong body. But so their soul picked that as their expression to find to make it more difficult for them to find out who they were.
How should I say it? I say it now on the soul level. It always depends from which planet or which origin they are coming.
Okay.
Because some are not used to have a gender.
Okay, I'm with you. Yeah. And
if it either this or I had one man. He said to me his mom always wanted to have a girl.
Oh.
That's how he grew up. So he had a problem taking on his manhood.
Yeah.
So I made with him rebirth.
Yeah.
And also inner child healing. I do a lot of inner child healings.
Okay.
That he can help his son better as father. Because now he can discover himself better, what a man should be, how he wants to be as man. Yeah. And don't have any guilt anymore towards his mom that he became a boy and not a girl. So there are always different reasons. So when a person comes to me, I tune into his energy. Yeah. Checking his soul plan, checking everything else, what's actually going on, and look at it. Yeah. And for me, it's like everybody can choose however they want, but they should choose out of themselves and not because of others.
How did you start on your journey? I mean, why do you do what you do? What kind of got you into this?
I have no idea. It's like I always was very high sensitive. I always got visions. I always knew it earlier than others. So I'm clairvoyant, however you want to call it. And then at 2009, I got kicked out of my normal business life. Normally, I got like jobs when I knew I have to be there and go there. So I was very intuitive and just did my stuff and all the things of normal life. Yeah. With all ups and downs. Yeah. And on 2009, something happened with my family. And I had to choose either business career or my family. I choose my family.
Okay.
It cost me a lot of money. And the interesting part was, since then, I was really on a spiritual awaken. It was at 2009. Yeah. And the interesting part was, from the point of view of today, my soul was not in my body anymore for many, many years. Yeah. I had a very speedy life. I was like, I always say I was a Speedy Gonzales in a slow motion movie. Yeah. That's how I was very cranky because everybody was too slow for me. Yeah. And I had 3 burnouts and it still was not enough, it seems like. Yeah. So I had really a speedy life, but I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one out there. And I was kicked out, and for many years I had flashbacks to reflect my life. I threw away a lot of pictures. I had a lot of different souls in my body. It was like, hey, so when you don't want to be in this body, I go in there. And it was so interesting because I did a lot of past life healings because I learned it. You begin going the spiritual path, you go to this person and this person where you believe this one knows better than you, and it's bullshit, but they just know it in a different way. And I got a lot of tools for myself to heal, and I began to create myself tools. Okay. It's like Vera Birkenbiel. She's very famous in Germany for healthy brain learning and all the things. So she created her own method because she was autistic and the normal school stuff and didn't work with her, the normal learning. Yeah. And it's the same with me. I always said before I get medicaments, or therapists who need actually more help than me.
Yeah.
And doctors who only want to describe me something what makes me only dizzy.
Yeah.
I just find my own method.
Yeah.
And I grew up very alternative. We had a beautiful doctor who gave us alternative medicine when we're ill and not medicaments.
Yeah.
And this guy got older than 90, so I think he knows what he was talking about.
Yes. Yes.
And the rest was I was guided.
Yeah.
I nearly died 3 times. I really can say I'm only alive because I was guided and I should be still here.
Yeah.
I know what it means to have suicidal things and thoughts.
Yeah.
And people out there, it's not worth it. It's not worth it to go. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The planet is beautiful. There's tons of stuff out there. And dying because of another person, because of silly thoughts, it's just, it's not worth it. I tried. It's not worth it.
Yeah. It's not. You've only got to do it all again anyway, haven't you? In another form.
Yeah. It's just. How should I say? I recreated my life the way I want and not like others want.
Yeah.
And I understand the banker that he doesn't want his job. And I've met a lot of high-paid managers who just changed extremely. And they're so happy and so healthy and going their way, and they just blossom up. And they are still using all of their business knowledge, by the way.
Yes.
So they integrated the past. And I always tell everybody when I do a business course, it has a reason why you went this path. Use this knowledge and go on, but with your purpose.
Yeah. Incorporate it all.
Yes.
And it also makes you more valid to certain people. You need to, if you've got good business knowledge, then, and you're trying to explain something to somebody who's business, then because you've got a business background, they might listen to other stuff as well more. It opens their mind because they think, she understands about my world, and yeah.
That's why we are going out. I have a beautiful team, nationally, internationally put together, because I'm really good in team building and project management. And I go out with those people, and they have a background like hardcore business.
Yeah.
And that's why how should I say, the world we want to reach, our target group, is actually the group where we were in before.
Yes.
And I think that makes us authentic.
Yes.
And this is not, and I wanted to say that I never wanted to go this way where I'm right now. I really got pushed and dragged by the spiritual world, because I'm probably the only person out there who doesn't want to do any spiritual work, because I know this work from all my past lives. And for me, it's like, no, not again. I don't want to. I want to have a table and in a normal job, and
Yeah.
I mean, I would still do the work, but in a different way.
Yeah.
And I always said, I'm sorry to say that, and I hope I don't hurt anybody now, but I don't want to do any spiritual work anymore.
Yeah.
It's just I had so much fun to be for a computer in the controlling and all the things.
Yeah. It's interesting you say that, because I often say that, people think the spiritual work is kind of fluffy, but it's much easier to go out and just focus on getting money and the material stuff. But the spiritual work is very demanding, and and it kind of, especially if you live through your intuition, it takes you to places that logically people wouldn't go, and they think you're crazy, and it causes lots of complications. So I know what you're talking about. For me, it was 2008 really that I kind of walked away from kind of stuff. But yes, it gets to a point that it becomes unbearable being there. That's how it was for me. Not the people I worked with were great, but it just becomes, you just can't do it anymore. Just can't do it.
It's a hard passion.
Yeah, but so what were the challenges? What are your challenges in your work? The things that really kind of the obstacles?
The obstacles I faced,
yeah.
is actually my health problem.
Okay.
I had a broken colon. I was really close to dying. I even got it because of the spiritual working.
Yeah.
And it's really demanding.
Okay.
I see it on body level. My lowest weight was 44 kilos.
Wow. Yeah.
And it wasn't about a light nutrition or something like that. I didn't have any hunger anymore, but I did tons of spiritual work.
Yeah.
And the other demanding part is now to bring in old worlds, not only the old worlds, but old worlds, to find a way for me to be earthly, to still can do my work, what's my passion, like being on the university and having the focus on it, and still doing my spiritual work. I have to be, because that's why I'm here on earth.
Yeah.
So the spiritual working, it took a little bit my freedom and my fun.
Yeah.
And I forgot the last years to preparing everything what's coming up, next year, sorry, because it will become very big.
Yeah.
It's like not forgetting me as me.
Yeah. It's
There's one
easy
thing.
to get overwhelmed. Yeah.
I mean, you know what? You're old soul as well. Old souls, we have a reason being here, and we have a vision, and we have a mission. But what I always when I remembered it, or when I discovered it, I always say, yeah, okay, but I still want to have fun here.
Yeah.
And I had to reteach all my light beings and all the things, and telling them, yeah, but I'm here on earth, I want to have fun.
Yeah.
So I reteach them all, that I tell them, yeah, we have a mission and vision, but I still want to have fun here.
Yeah.
I want to still eat my ice cream. I know I have to eat healthy and lean and and clean and whatsoever, but I have my fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I do really a lot of spiritual work, and visitors coming to me because I have a reputation. So visitors coming to me, and I show them Vienna, for example, most of the time, and the Prater.
The what?
It's our amusement park in Vienna.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's very it's famous.
Okay.
Because when I want to teach them, like the Mother Earth, it's a lot of stuff, not only chocolate and ice cream here, because that's what we have to save,
Yeah.
Mom Earth.
Yeah.
But also like showing them what pleasure is.
Yes.
If you ever had contact with aliens, with spiritual beings, they have a different point of view because they're coming from a different planet.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you have to show them a different, show them how Mom Earth is.
Yeah.
And then they show me their planet and their point of view, so that I understand more and more the work. When I find there is a soul from the planet, then I understand why they are here and all the things.
Yes.
And that's my spiritual work.
Yeah.
And my biggest challenge is to bring this kind of work together with the earthly work.
Yeah. More into the mainstream media, isn't it?
Yes, and also that's why I created my research, and that's really a hardcore scientific research center.
Yeah.
To find different methods and point of views to see so-called ill people with some kind of disorder in a different way. And I heard one day Richard Bandler, because I learned NLP from Richard Bandler directly in London, and he said he can bring every single person out of the mental hospital. I said, what you can do, I can do too.
Mm. Yeah.
But I do it in a different way, on a scientific based way.
Yeah.
In my belief, no one is ill.
Yeah.
They only have a different point of view,
Yeah.
a different world, what
Yeah.
I maybe don't understand. But if this person let me to understand it, I can help you to find resilience methods and coping strategies.
Yeah.
For the world outside of a mental hospital. It's a huge difference.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because when you see sometimes top managers, they are bigger Nazis and have a bigger mental issue than one in the mental hospital. But he's in a different environment where he's allowed to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it means if you're in a different environment, you can still be you, but with a different label.
Yeah.
I found a person who is a multiple character. He made $1 million business out of it. And he's worldwide one of the best in his field.
Mm. Yeah.
And I give you another point of view or another example. There are a lot of people out there who are channelings.
Yeah.
And if you go to a Scientologist or to a doctor telling them that you're a channeler, he says to me, you're a multiple personnel unit medicament.
Yeah. Yeah.
I always say,
Mm.
It's only a different environment.
Yeah.
Still the same character.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are afraid to be open,
Yeah.
talking about their fears, talking about their challenges, because they fear that they have to go to a doctor or to a therapist because they're talking to the wrong person who
You
don't
don't feel
understand.
safe. Yeah. Yeah, they don't feel safe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's, for me, heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And the funniest part is, and that I always have to smile, because I always, at the beginning, you just be very, don't tell too much, and when I meet top managers and begin a little bit talking about, they say to me, oh, my wife works in the spiritual, there is like energetical something. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
We talk about, I met a lot of people who are actually, in top management and HR or in bank, and they have a wife who works in a totally different way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is there. There are a lot of people who are actually hidden potentials.
Yeah.
And I wish that we have one day a world where everybody can express themselves, what they feel, what they believe, what they are aware of, and that they still get appreciated. I don't have to take over, this world.
Yeah.
But being on eye level and still appreciate it and say, okay, even if I'm not aware of those monsters or everybody what you have around, you're still a valuable person.
Yeah. I find it interesting with the work that I do, because I do graphology and tarot and stuff. Mm-hmm. And I find it interesting. I've seen thousands of people over 25 years. But I find it interesting because people will come to me with their writing, tarot or whatever, and then I'll say something which opens a door that has been closed before. And it's like, because I give people a safe space, because I don't have an agenda, they then say, well, she knows that, I may as well tell her about this. And then people kind of unburden. And so maybe for an hour or so, they've got permission to unburden. And then they can go back to their life, but at least it's kind of released some pressure in some way. Yeah.
Pressure, and finally getting the space of appreciation.
Yeah. Yeah. So you must find a lot of joy in the work you do as well.
You know what's my biggest reward?
What?
When a person comes to me and when at the end of my work, whatever I do, their eyes are glowing again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Their eyes are the how do you say it?
The mirrors of the soul.
Yes, exactly. Gateway or mirror. Yes.
Yeah.
And it's so sometimes it's so heartbreaking about the stories what I get.
Yeah.
And what I say, the biggest rewards. I mean, I have to live from something.
Yeah.
And you it's just an exchange of money, but only to see the gloss of the glow in the eyes again, life again in the eyes of the people. It's just, and sometimes I have so many encounters where I know I'm now guided, being an angel for another person. I saved lives.
Yeah.
Otherwise, this person would be dead because no one would have seen them.
Yeah.
And it's my mom is also very intuitive and spiritual,
Yeah.
but you know, in former times you were not allowed to talk about.
Oh yeah.
And
not so long ago, actually.
I know. And she blossomed up at the moment, and she will also from many others like angel, like an angel.
Yeah.
And we don't have to, there are so many people out there who are earth angels, and they don't know that they actually only by their presence being a relief for other people.
Yeah.
I did a internship, that's the English word, internship for my master study, my first master, because I'm doing now the second master, and my first master I did internships, and one was with Caritas, who does a lot of voluntary work, and we're homeless with homeless people and so, and sometimes when I was there, I just most of the time I just sit somewhere and people are coming to me. That's like in my aura, the people are coming to me.
Yeah.
And there was a guy. I think it was the first time that someone normal was talking to him, and he just, you know, he kicked me and he said, "Hey, I can't read, and can you read me the horoscope?" Because I was reading a newspaper.
Yeah.
I read to him the horoscope because I grew up with a lot of alcoholics. They were in our bakery, so I really learned how to listen and so. And he was totally happy.
Yeah.
And like in Vienna, when I feel it, because I'm into it, I just buy them kind of food or a coffee or something like that.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt anybody,
Absolutely.
but you can write up a whole day for this person.
Yeah. Everyone's got a story, and I think it's very narrow to only look at people that are like you, because you never learn anything else. You don't know who these people are, what their experiences are, and sometimes it's only circumstance that's put them in that position anyway. So we could do with a world without so much judgment.
Mm-hmm. This and I told a lot of people, how would you want to be treated? You know?
Yeah.
Just go 7 steps in the shoes of the other person.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You would not fight. You would not be angry.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And it's not about self-pitness or something like that. It's about awareness.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's about awareness. And I have a lot of people who actually got tons of millions through my work. I never got anything of this money.
Mm.
The only thing what I teach them is, would you give me a dime?
Yeah. Yes.
Because through money you see the character of the person.
Yes. Yes.
And we are in a world still where a printed paper is more important than a life.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And how should I say? I had a little chat with death, Azrael, or however you want to call it. And in the antique or in the Greek mythology, you always needed a dime.
Yeah.
For the one who brings you over the bridge.
Oh yes, takes you into Hades. It's the ferryman that takes you over.
Yes.
Yeah, you
Yes,
have to give them a dime. Yes, yes.
Yes. And this symbol means so much.
Yeah.
Those who had tons of money becoming from greediness and not legal,
Yeah.
would never give you anything, not
Yeah.
even a dime.
Yeah.
Another person who worked from themselves up,
Yeah.
gives you not only a dime.
Yeah.
I got people who just gave me money and all the things, doing my spiritual work.
Yeah.
And the earth healing, because every time when I really have to go somewhere, I just get money or something else really to go there. Exactly that money. That's so funny.
Yeah.
They understand what life is about, and it's not about printed money.
Absolutely. I've seen quite a few, but one particularly was a YouTube video was made. This guy went to a homeless man and gave him some money. And he said, "You sure?" He said, "Yes, this is yours." And then they followed him to see what he would do with this money. And he went into like a convenience store that sold booze and everything like that. They thought, oh God, so he's going to go and get loads of booze and stuff. But he came out with these bags, spent the money, and then he went around to all the homeless people he knew and gave them a sandwich. Yet, when people have got money, I'm generalizing here, it doesn't go for everybody, but a lot of times they don't even think, because they haven't known what it's like to be hungry. They haven't known what it's like to be homeless or judged as lesser than. Yet that homeless person who really needed the money spent a lot of it on other people.
Mm-hmm.
Yet the people have the money, they aren't willing to. I think you really know a person when they're put in a position of power or they're given a lot of money. Then you really get to know who that person is on a soul level.
Yeah. And it's the same with a knife or with NLP methods.
Yeah.
It's only a tool.
Yeah.
Or a possibility.
Yeah.
To hurt yourself or others, or to create something greater.
Yes. Yes.
And that's for me the difference of the character. And I meet a lot of millionaires.
Yeah.
Who are very generous.
Yeah. Yes.
And who had the heart, I always say, who had the heart on the right place. One of them was my ex-boss. I still appreciate him for all the small things. For him, it was like, yeah, okay. For him, it was like, of course,
Yeah.
For me, it meant the world.
Yes. Yeah.
And through that, I could create next to my work, my NGO project.
Yeah.
And all the things, because I could use the printer and everything else.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's for me the huge difference.
Yeah. Generosity of spirit.
Yes.
Yeah.
At the end, no one can take, when he's dead or in the grave, the money. No one.
I know.
And we're still fighting about something. Lately, there was a case in my hometown. You just sit there and you're like, there are no words for it. What happens with people when the rich one dies?
Yeah.
And what with everybody else around happens, because then you know how the system was before, or the relationship before.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that true living? Were those people happy?
Well, sometimes people find things make them happy, or power or control. So it's their own form of happiness. But then, do they sleep at night? That's that's their journey.
Yeah.
I'd prefer not to have money and be happy.
I prefer both.
Yeah.
But both, I don't depend on it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And for me, and this was, I luckily can say that a famous filmmaker from Austria is in my friend
Yeah.
surrounding. That's Peer Straubinger. He made a movie. At the beginning, there was light. It was very big in Austria, and there was the question in it: how can we get independent of food?
Yeah. Oh.
So he made a documentary about light nutrition and all the things.
Yeah.
A living of light. And it was like, you know, for the normal scientist, it was like, no way, this is all fake and paranoid and it doesn't work, and it was pretty interesting. But it opened up the question: is it actually possible or not? Because we believe that we depend on food and water, and this is not true. And for me, it opens up the question: what is dependence? What's independence? What's freedom? What's not freedom? On the point of linguistic.
Yeah.
And how can we rethink it for our world that it fits in our new thinking?
Yeah, it's quite a controversial subject, isn't it, that one?
Yes.
You know, because I know, you know, that, I mean, I've done water fasting and stuff like that, and I haven't done dry fasting because I haven't felt to do it, but I know that people have done that, and they do hard dry fasting, which, you know, no contact with water or anything, but they do it for about 7 to maybe 9 days, and that's kind of the limit. To go beyond that, I don't know. I'm always open-minded, and I will, you know, I'm always interested in other people's, the research they've done, and other people's ideas. I think the world, I mean, we're becoming, the Earth is becoming into a lighter frequency now. So maybe that is where it become possible, whereas we're quite dense at the moment, and I think at the moment possibly it'd be very difficult for people to actually have that belief. I mean, people are frightened of water fasting. They think that you're going to die if you only drink water for, you know, a week. You may as well die. You can't do that food. So it's all a kind of a different level of perception. You know, and I researched it for 3 months before I did any, and then I found it was really beneficial. But again, it's a step too far for some people. You have to do it step by step.
Definitive. And it's a lot of mind work.
Yeah.
And when I created my nutrition work, it was actually most of the time channeled. They said to me, this leads to a very natural way to light nutrition.
Yeah.
And when I was at this step to choose it, if I want to go now light nutrition or not, I said to them, no. We are here on Earth. We have so delicious food. I love food. I mean, I'm a passionate cook. I'm like, no. I don't want to. I mean, I know the how. I know how it's working. And I'm like, no. I want to have my ice chocolate cream in summer. I'm sorry. I have my favorite ice cream shop in Vienna. That's why I always invite everybody to taste the ice cream and all the things, because we have just delicious food. Because we are all emotional eaters. So the same again, what I said, with all the memories what we have are connected with emotions.
Yeah.
So one day when I begin to create these methods to regarding addiction, to get off addictions, I was my best guinea pig. So I deleted all my favorite foods and emotions, what I was connected, and healed the emotions, all things. And then I tried this food again, and the food tastes differently. So today I don't have any favorite foods anymore because I don't have any emotions with it connected.
Yeah.
And it was like, Jesus,
yeah.
what I'm eating now. I was like on one day, my food is like very grounded.
Yeah.
And a lot of vegetables and all the things. But I'm still, my mom makes the best cakes. So when I'm coming home, it's like, I have to eat this cake because otherwise my mom would be pissed. It can't be.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's again this surrounding. I know it's
the
possible.
balance, and at some stage we won't be on Earth, and it won't be an issue.
No, and on the other hand, why are we on Earth? To savor Earth.
Yeah.
All the beautiful givings. I
Yeah.
got last year, actually most of the years, free food from Mother Earth.
Yeah.
No one sees or no one wants, and I'm always totally happy.
Yeah.
Because it's just, it's free food. Yes, thank you. Okay, it's very moderate. You know, apple mousse and all the things are only apples for a couple of days, but I love it.
Yeah.
And it's like a different to see it differently, what nutrition is, what healthy food is. And most of the time, a lot of people, and that's why they look how they look and get ill, how they get ill, because they don't eat living food. They eat processed food, and that's not food.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when you delete all the emotions with what's connected with food, you begin to retaste how actually the food tastes without the emotions with it. And most of that food tastes, bleh.
Yeah.
It's like, how could I love this food before so much, and now it tastes like nothing.
Yeah.
And then
I've had the same. Yeah. It's like when I did the water fasting, suddenly the sweet stuff was much sweeter, the salty stuff was much saltier.
Yes.
And it kind of things that, and all I had to do was try them and think, oh, don't like this anymore. And then there's no willpower about not eating it anymore because you no longer like it, you know, that's gone. But we have a memory of taste, don't we?
Yes.
Somebody.
And also the colon, by the way.
Sorry?
The colon.
The colon,
has the biggest memory is the bacteria. So when you want to change really your lifestyle and your food nutrition, you have to clear your colon.
Yeah. Oh, yes, you can do that by, I mean, the water fasting is a great way of doing that, you know. But also there's things you can take, and obviously there's a colonoscopies and things like that. But yeah, and it's funny how you can get quite emotional as well when the colon's clean.
Yes.
Brings the emotions up.
Very emotional and very sensitive.
Yeah.
That's why I also actually went back to a little bit more normal food.
Yeah.
I could control the energy level with food. So when I had a very high energetically coaching, and then I knew I have to go to my family, I began to eat crap that I come down with my energy on the level of other people. Yeah. Otherwise they would freak out with me. Yeah. And it's just, that's what I mean with discovering myself. Yeah. And none of us out there know actually yourself. Yeah. And for me, the biggest discovery is actually myself and what I'm capable of, and what I did. I'm my best guinea pig. Is I do a lot of past life regressions. Yeah. And remember what I learned in each past life, so that I don't have to learn it in this life. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So, isn't it? Actually, none of us have to go to school. Yeah. If we would remember what we learned before. Yes. Yes. That would be nice, wouldn't it? It's been like, no. that's like hidden potentials in everybody.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh,
yeah,
who am I actually?
yeah. It's I find people so unique, and there's not one like anybody else. It's it's just all different quirks, and I find people fascinating, absolutely fascinating. It's been an absolute delight talking to you. It's been so.
I think we could talk for weeks.
I agree, but as this is an interview, I don't think anyone would like to listen to for weeks. So you probably better wrap it up now. So how can people contact you?
At the moment, I update all my websites.
Yeah.
And my website is actually my name, Bernadette Bruckner.
Yeah.
Together.com.
Yeah.
And then you will find all the other websites of my coaching therapy style and my nutrition form, and also of my books. I'm actually everywhere. You will find me on LinkedIn. You will find me on YouTube. You will find me on Facebook, because I'm a totally social media freak.
Okay. Yeah, I'm on a lot of stuff. Yeah.
But yeah, finding me, it's at the moment, it's just it becomes easier and easier.
Okay, so what I'll do is I'll put a link to your website in below this video, and people can find you in your different forms. But yes. It's been such a pleasure talking to you. I feel as though I've known you forever, and I look forward to.
You, but in a different way.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. So thank you everybody for watching, if you've got this far, but I've found it absolutely fascinating. So cheerio everybody, and thank you very much again, Bernadette.
It's the same. So
okay.
Thank you very much, and it was very enlightening for me as well.
Good. Lovely. All right. Bye everybody.